What happens when one of Hollywood's most respected actors comes face-to-face with a talk show host who refuses to show even the most basic level of respect? You're about to witness one of the most uncomfortable moments ever captured on live television. Harrison Ford, the man who gave us Han Solo and Indiana Jones, walked onto The View expecting a routine promotional interview. What he got instead was something entirely different. Before we dive into this unbelievable exchange, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments. Because after watching this, you may never look at daytime television the same way again. The studio lights blazed hot that morning as Ford settled into the familiar chair across from the panel of hosts. He'd done this sort of thing countless times, promoting a new film, sharing a few anecdotes, maybe cracking a joke or two. The View was supposed to be just another stop on the press tour-friendly chat about his career and upcoming projects. But from the moment Joy Behar opened her mouth, it was clear this was going to be anything but routine. Well.
Oh.
Look who we've got here, Joy began, wearing that trademark smirk. Harrison Ford, the man who's made a career out of playing the same character over and over again. The other hosts shifted awkwardly in their seats. This wasn't the warm, pre-approved intro they'd discussed during the pre-show meeting. Off camera, Ford's publicist felt her stomach sink. She had specifically asked the producers to keep things light and professional. Ford's jaw tensed slightly, but his voice remained calm. "I'm sorry, Joy, but I think you might be mistaking me for someone else. I've played a wide range of characters throughout my career." "Oh, really?" Joy leaned forward, clearly enjoying herself now. "Let's see, you've got the grumpy pilot in Star Wars, the grumpy archaeologist in Indiana Jones, and the grumpy detective in Blade Runner." "Seems like a bit of a pattern to me." The audience grew quiet, sensing the tension. This wasn't the playful banter they were expecting from a morning talk show. Ford glanced at the other hosts, silently hoping someone might step in and steer the conversation elsewhere. No one moved. "Joy, I came here to talk about my new film," he said, a warning note creeping into his tone. "Perhaps we could focus on that, rather than whatever agenda you're pushing today." But Joy wasn't backing down. In fact, she seemed energized. "Agenda? I haven't got an agenda, Harrison," she said, with mock innocence. "I'm just calling it like I see it. You've been coasting on the same handful of roles for decades. When's the last time you actually challenged yourself as an actor?" The question hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Ford had dealt with tough interviewers before, but this felt different. This felt personal. Designed to humiliate him on live television. "You know what, Joy?" he said, his famously steady composure starting to waver. "I've been acting for over 50 years. I've worked with some of the greatest directors in cinema history. I've played everything from carpenters to presidents. And I've never once felt the need to justify my choices to someone who makes a living gossiping on daytime telly." The studio went silent, save for the soft hum of the cameras. Joy's face flushed red, but she didn't back down. If anything, she doubled down. "Gossiping? Is that what you think this is?" she snapped. "I'm asking real questions about your career, questions your fans deserve answers to. Or are you too much of a prima donna to handle a bit of honest criticism?" Ford stood up slowly, his chair scraping against the studio floor, echoing like a gunshot. "Honest criticism," he said, his voice low but sharp. "Is that what you call this ambush? I've faced down critics who actually knew what they were talking about. You're not even close." "Sit down, Harrison," Joy shot back, her voice rising. "You don't get to intimidate me just because you're a movie star. This is my show, and I'll ask whatever questions I like. Your show." Ford's voice was icy now. "Your show is a joke, Joy. You spend your days tearing down people who actually build something, while contributing nothing but noise and negativity. At least when I play a grumpy old man, I'm getting paid to act." The other hosts finally stirred, trying to de-escalate the situation, but it was too late. The damage was done, and Joy Behar wasn't about to let Ford have the final word. "Oh, you think you're better than everyone else, don't you?" she spat. "You think because you were in a few successful films that gives you the right to look down on the rest of us." "Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Ford, your best days are behind you, and everyone knows it." Ford's fists clenched at his sides. For a split second, it looked as if he might actually lose control. The tension in the studio was unbearable. Everyone knew they were witnessing something that be replayed and analyzed for days to come, likely remembered for years. Asterisk, the silence after Joy's brutal jab. "Your best days are behind you," hung in the air like a slap that echoed through the walls. You could hear a pin drop. No music. No cue cards. Just hearts pounding and a studio audience frozen in disbelief. Ford didn't flinch. He turned to her slowly, deliberately. His eyes, hard and weathered, locked onto Joy like a hawk sighting prey. This wasn't acting. This was personal. "My best days are behind me," he repeated, voice low but razor-sharp. "You sure you want to go there, Joy?" Joy opened her mouth, but Ford didn't wait. "No. Let's talk about your best days. Were they back when you were bombing in comedy clubs, hoping anyone would laugh? Or was it when you figured out the only way to stay relevant was to tear down people who actually built something?" The room tensed. Even the producers behind the glass froze, unsure whether to cut to commercial or let history unfold. Joy's smirk was gone. "How dare you?" she hissed. "You don't know a damn thing about me." "I know enough," Ford shot back. "I know you hide behind this panel of women like it's a fortress so you can say the cruelest things without consequence. But here's the truth. Happy people don't sit around making others feel small. You do that because deep down, you're empty." Whoopi shifted, ready to jump in with a joke but stopped cold when both Ford and Joy turned to her in unison, eyes blazing. The moment wasn't salvageable. "You think you can psychoanalyze me now?" Joy spat. Her voice cracked. Rage, or something closer to fear, trembled beneath the surface. "You arrogant has-been." Ford actually laughed, but there wasn't a hint of humor in it. "Has-been?" "Joy, I made more money last year than you'll make in your entire career. My films are still in theaters. What about you?" Sitting here, gossiping about celebrities between Metamucil ads, he leaned forward, voice now ice cold. "If I'm a has-been, what does that make you?" "A never was." A wave of gasps rippled through the audience. Front row viewers covered their mouths. Cameras kept rolling, now closer, tighter, capturing every grimace and glare. "This isn't a debate anymore," someone whispered off stage. "It's a takedown." Joy was visibly shaking now, red rising in her cheeks. "Think all that matters is money?" she snapped. "You think just because you landed a few lucky roles that makes you some kind of god? Lucky?" Ford finally raised his voice, and it hit the room like a thunderclap. "I worked construction. I scraped through bit parts in B-movies for years before I caught a break. I earned every inch of my career. You want to talk luck? Let's talk about the luck it takes to land a TV job when your only skill is being mean on camera." The producers were now waving frantically go to break, but Joy wasn't backing down. "At least I show up," she snapped. "At least I don't sleepwalk through my job for a paycheck, mumbling the same tired lines over and over, like I'm allergic to effort." Ford stepped closer. For a heartbeat, the air in the studio stopped moving. "You want to talk about phoning it in," he growled. "Look around this circus. This show. It's a graveyard for washed-up commentary. You sit at that desk every day, tearing people apart because your own life isn't worth dissecting. Joy stood. The entire panel leaned back in their chairs. They were standing now face to face, to two like two gunslingers at high noon. "Get out," Joy said. Her voice was low, trembling with rage. "Get out of my studio. Right now." Ford just chuckled. "Your studio?" he said. "Joy, you don't own anything here, not even your own relevance. You're just a name on a chair. Replaceable. Forgettable." A stunned silence followed. Then came the sound of one thing producers. Fear more than dead air. The audience applauding, and not ironically, Joy stood frozen. Ford turned, adjusted his jacket, and walked off set calm. Composed, every step echoing, like punctuation to a conversation that would be replayed for years. No. One spoke. Not Joy, not Whoopi, not the network, because they knew. This wasn't just a viral moment. It was the day daytime television changed forever. "This isn't your studio, Joy," Ford said, voice flat. "It's a soundstage where they shoot your little gossip show. You don't own anything here, except maybe that chair you've been warming for years." His eyes didn't blink. "You've contributed nothing to the world but louder insecurities. You make people feel smaller, not smarter. That's your legacy." The cameras kept rolling, capturing every frozen reaction, every stiff breath. This wasn't just an interview gone off the rails. It was the slow implosion of two public figures. On live television, and everyone watching knew it. Joy leaned forward, her voice climbing. "You want to know your real problem, Harrison?" she snapped. "You can't stand that someone finally called out your overrated career. You're not some cinematic legend, you're just another aging man terrified of being forgotten." The words landed like slaps. For a moment, Ford's expression faltered, just long enough to suggest she'd struck something raw. But then the shift, the pain vanished, replaced by something colder, harder. Not rage. Worse, a calm, dangerous clarity. The entire studio seemed to still in response. Ford spoke again. It's quiet and level, like he wasn't just responding, but finishing it. "You know what people don't care about anymore? Joy. They don't care about bitter people who make a living, tearing others down. They don't care about cynics dressed up as comedians. They definitely don't care about your opinion of me or anyone else." Joy opened her mouth to cut in. Ford raised his hand. She stopped. It wasn't dramatic. It was instinct. "I'm not finished." His voice rose just slightly. "You asked when I last challenged myself. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you challenged yourself to show grace? When was the last time you used this platform to elevate someone instead of humiliate them? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and wondered if maybe you were part of the problem?" The other hosts were still as statues. Camera operators didn't flinch. They knew this footage would be replayed for decades. Joy's hands trembled slightly. Anger or fear. "You sanctimonious hypocrite," she hissed. "You think you're better than everyone else? You think because you were in a few decent films, you get to lecture the rest of us?" Ford raised an eyebrow. Not in mockery, just surprise. "I never said I was better," he replied coolly. "I said I was trying to be decent. Trying. To respect people, even the ones who don't deserve it." He stared at her now, unflinching. "Apparently, that's more than you can manage." "Respect is earned," she snapped, louder now. "And you've earned a reputation for being a nightmare to work with. That's what you are, Ford. Difficult, demanding." This time his laugh was brief, but it held no warmth. "Yes," he said simply. "I'm difficult when they ask me to fake it. I'm demanding when they want to cut corners, because I care. Because I respect the audience enough to give them my best." He turned to the camera. "And I'm difficult when people like you spend their lives attacking what others have built. So yes, I'm difficult. And I'll keep being difficult until people like you remember what it means to be decent. Joy was nearly vibrating now, her voice cracking. You want to lecture me on decency? You're the one who just spent 10 minutes attacking me on national TV. Ford didn't blink. I didn't start this, he said, but I'm ending it. Asterisk, Ford. There's a difference. You started this trying to humiliate me for your own amusement? Everything I've said, it's a response to your cruelty. But here's what really gets to me about people like you. Ford steps forward. His voice lowers not louder, but heavier. Every word lands like a hammer. You hide behind tough questions and call it journalism. But this isn't honesty. It's not truth. This is you hurting people because it makes you feel powerful. You think cruelty equals insight. You use your platform not to inform, but to wound. And the worst part? I don't think you even realize how broken you have to be inside to find joy in watching someone else squirm. Joy falters. For just a second, her expression cracks something. Raw flashes behind her eyes. Then the mask snaps back on. Joy, how dare you psychoanalyze me, you arrogant bastard. You don't know anything about my life, what I've survived, or why I do what I do. You think you can sit here and judge me after one conversation? Ford quietly, furious Joy. This isn't one conversation. This is your whole act. Every day you sit in that chair and tear people apart. You probe their wounds until they bleed. And when they finally stand up to you, you play the victim. Cut to chaos in the control room. Frantic producers shouting. Fingers hovering over the commercial button, but no one dares move yet. Ford Building, you want to know what I think. I think you're jealous. Jealous of people who've built something real, who've created characters and stories that meant something to people. And what have you built? Joy. A platform of gossip and sneers. A show that feeds on pain, joy boiling. Over jealous? Jealous of what? Your aging career. Your string of flops. Your desperate need to stay relevant in an industry that's left you behind. Ford, no. You're jealous because people remember my work with affection. Because when they think of me, they think of hope, venture, wonder. When they think of you, they think of mockery. Of someone who makes the world feel smaller, meaner. Colder Joy opens her mouth to strike back, but nothing comes out. For the first time, she's speechless. Ford nods, quietly. Ford, that's what I thought. I came here to talk about a film that might give people 2 hours of escape. Of joy, of meaning. But you take that kind of joy and grind it into dust. You strip everything good down to bitterness and spectacle. For ratings, for applause. For the thrill of turning someone else's life into your next viral segment. Joy. A whisper now, you can't talk to me like this. You can't come on my show and Ford cutting in your show. This isn't a show. It's a public execution disguised as entertainment. You don't host guests. You ambush them. And I'm done playing along. Ford turns to walk away, but halfway. To the edge of the set, he stops and looks back. Ford, you know the saddest part? You probably think you won something here today, that this'll make great TV, that you broke me. But all you've done is show the world exactly who you are. And it's not a flattering picture. Joy rising, screaming, don't you dare walk away from me. Don't you dare turn your back when I'm talking to you. Ford stops but doesn't turn. Ford, I'm not walking away from you, Joy. I'm walking. Away from this toxicity, from the kind of television that feeds on humiliation. I'm walking away from a world that confuses cruelty with relevance, joy. Shouting behind him, you think you're better than us? You think you're above this? Show above me. Let me tell you something, Mr. Big Shot, movie star, we never needed you. Ford pauses one last time. He turns back. His voice is calm now, most pitying. "Ford, you're right. You don't need me. But maybe, just maybe, you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself if this is who you really want to be. Because, if it is, I feel sorry for you. I really do." And with that, Harrison Ford walks off the view. The studio is frozen. Joy stands alone, pointing at empty air. Red with rage and humiliated silence, the other hosts try to salvage the show, scrambling for damage control, but it's over. The internet has already clipped the moment. And history just recorded one of daytime TV's most explosive walkouts ever.